Well, it's not exactly pleasant outside here today. We've got a lot of wildfire smoke. We've got really hot temperatures. The good news is this is not going to last all that much longer. But let's start things off by taking a look at what you're seeing right now. And this is thanks to a wildfire in northern Arizona, the Pipeline Fire, just to the north of Flagstaff, Arizona, if you know it. That fire really kind of sparked up overnight. It grew to about 4,500 to 5,000 acres. And then we have our winds coming from exactly that direction. So that's why we're getting all the smoke here the noon hour. I know a lot of us were talking about it all morning long. Unfortunately, we're going to probably get a little bit worse this afternoon with the smoke before things get better starting late tonight. So stories for today: it's really hot, it's really hazy and smoky. It's just really unpleasant. There's no other way to put it, right? I mean, weather's subjective. We all have different views of the weather. I think we can all agree that today's weather, not very pleasant, not exactly great for a run or anything like that. Much cooler, much better for tomorrow. So there is the good news, that things get better pretty quickly starting late tonight. But this afternoon, conditions probably get a little bit worse again before they get better. We're going to see some of that smoke work its way on in from the south and west. So we're getting kind of these periodic little bursts of smoke, and we'll probably see that this afternoon. The other thing to keep in mind with this afternoon, two other things will come into play. A lot of the smoke we're seeing right now, a lot of it's way up there in the skies, but as the day wears on and we pick up our winds, some of that will work its way down towards the surface. And then number two is, as it gets hotter, we'll also increase the amount of ground ozone that's in play. So long story short, it's going to get worse this afternoon before it gets better tonight. And it will get better much quickly tonight once we get a cold front on in from the north and west. That will change our wind direction, and that will shift a lot of that smoke further east and further south. That said, southern Colorado will hold on to that smoke the longest, but even for our friends in Colorado Springs, in Pueblo, in Lamar, in Springfield, things will improve as we get through the morning hours tomorrow. Now, the other story, it's really, really, really hot outside. You did not need me to tell you that, but just how hot is it? As of noon, 91 in Denver, 104 in Ray. How about that? 101 Lamar. 70s and 80s for the most part on up into the mountains, but even a few spots out there touching 90 degrees. Today gets up to about 99 degrees here in Denver. Mostly sunny, but you won't know it because it's so hazy. It is just gross. Again, I think we can all agree on that one. Highs today, mid to upper 90s. Hot, 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 hot. I think you get the general gist of things. A few spots will touch triple digits, especially in the north side of the metro area. Southern and western Colorado dealing with the highest fire weather concerns. Now, statewide, we're going to have some at least elevated fire weather concerns, but in southern and western Colorado, that's where most of the snowpack has already melted on off. We have less of a green up. It's been drier out here, so there are increased fuels for a fire start in southern and western Colorado. So statewide, avoid anything with a spark outdoors, but especially in southern and western parts of the state. It's going to be a bit blustery today. Winds 25, maybe 30 miles an hour here in Denver. Some spots in the mountains closer to about 40 to 50 miles an hour, depending on where you are. Those winds do back on off pretty quickly tonight. And speaking of tonight, temperatures drop back into the upper 50s. Ooh, that sounds pretty nice considering those highs near 100 degrees for today. And as I mentioned, we do get a cold front that works its way on in from the northwest to southeast. As it moves its way on through overnight tonight, that will usher in a much more refreshing air mass. Mother Nature's version of air conditioning arrives tonight with a few stray showers in the northern mountains and even a little bit of snow, by the way, in the highest peaks of the Parks and the Elkhead Mountains of northern Colorado. Now, tomorrow, much better. 85 degrees. By the way, that is still above average for this time of year, believe it or not. It's mostly sunny, it is much cooler, and winds much lighter out of the south at about 5 to 15 miles an hour for us. Now, forecast highs for tomorrow. Statewide, much cooler, especially in the mountains, 50s and 60s. That'll be it for us. Places like Winter Park and Vail, as mentioned. Tippy tops of the mountains, maybe seeing a little bit of snow. Southeast Colorado, while we hold on to our heat the longest, that's because it takes a little bit of time for that front to work its way on through that part of the state. But even out here, it will be cooler compared to today, and it gets even cooler as we get into your Wednesday. 7-day forecast, not a whole lot of relief. We get 1 day of much cooler temperatures, then we warm back up to about 90 on your Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, mid to upper 90s. We do get some storms back into the picture for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. But one bit of good news I also want to pass along in addition to the cool down for your Tuesday is that as we get into the weekend, we're going to see the monsoon return. So we'll see some popcorn showers and storms start to return to western and southern Colorado. And that is the part of the state that needs the moisture more than any other part of Colorado. So good news there. We do get showers and storms back into the picture for the upcoming weekend, and especially for the part of the state that needs it the most. So 2 bits of good news. Yesterday's weather kind of stinks, but tomorrow it's a lot better. And then for the weekend, some potentially significant relief for western and southern Colorado. Not seeing any comments or questions out there, so I'll leave it be. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus. I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi, and have a great rest of your day.